Hello, my name is Alan Drew, and on behalf of the City of Bristol College, this is a video tutorial on creating a Paul M. Smith style photograph, well, from multiple images that you will make. If you're interested in Paul M. Smith, and my students will be because they have to research him, he has his own website. This is one of his many pictures on his website, and these are photographs of Make My Night or Lads Night Out. And this is snapshot aesthetic pictures of a great Lads Night Out. The difference being that everybody in the picture is actually Paul M. Smith. Famous, probably most famous for his pictures of Robbie Williams, created for the Sing When You're Winning album cover. All the pictures are Robbie Williams. So my students are going to research Paul M. Smith as part of the unit they're carrying out. The thing that you will need to do is plan your image, plan the scene you're going to create, and create multiple images of yourself. My students will find the information on Moodle of how to plan and make these images using a camera, a tripod. The most important thing is that the camera should not move one iota when taking these pictures. I expect to see probably 4 or 5 of my of these pictures merged together. So 4 or 5 of you interacting with each other in the same picture. I'll show you mine and how I create the image. So this is me, and I'm in this picture 8 times. 1, 2, 3, in the window 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and the dog is 8. So I'm in the picture 7 times, and the dog is. So there's 8 images here. And what I did, I crossed over the road, set the camera up, framed the framing perfectly, had the aperture set at the same aperture because I wasn't moving either closer or farther away from the camera. So aperture priority or manual. And then I just took a photograph of me in one position, went indoors, changed, came out, led down, took a photograph of me in another position, went in, changed, came out, got into the next position. And there was a certain amount of planning involved. I had to know where each of these people were stood, so I put some tape on the floor so that I was in the right place. Just any interaction, you need to know who you're interacting with and where they are. Because when you're stood there on your own, so you don't know anything about it. The dog is very clever. I made the dog sit down, and from across the road I threw stones so that the dog would look down at the stones in the right position. I took about 25 pictures to get him in the right position, and it seemed to work eventually. Okay, so let's create at least part of I'll show you the process with 2 or 3 of these images to create these images. There are obviously a few ways of doing this, and this is the way I would do it. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 images there. So I'll show you the first 2 or 3, and then it's very easy to build up pictures from there. So this picture is here, and I'll drop this picture on top of the other one. So pull that away, like so. It should be relatively easy because all the pictures are framed exactly the same, and each of the pictures should fit on top of one another without any movement in the background at all. If your camera has moved, you're going to have great difficulty in matching pictures up. So the way to find out whether they're lined up in the background is to go to the opacity tool in the layers palette over here on the right hand side, and just turn the opacity down to about 50%, and you'll see that they're not really lined up. So you're still with the move tool at the top of the toolbar. Just move it until you feel it lined up. What I'm looking at here is the crossbars on the window, and once they're lined up, I know that they will be lined up. Okay, so the top image is this layer. So underneath is this person stood here. So that's what I've got to rub out, this area here. So it's best to turn the opacity down slightly until I can see where it is. And then obviously you'll see this image. There are shadows involved here, so you have to be specific about the shadows. Choose the eraser tool, which is here on the left hand side, and I'll choose one about this size for the moment. The background doesn't matter because it's lined up, so you can rub over the background. The only thing you can't rub over in this series, in this way, is the other person in the picture. There are shadows involved in this, so there's a shadow on the car I can see. I need to rub that out, so that's important. And there's a shadow down here as well, so what I don't want to do is rub out these feet. So I'll make the eraser tool smaller, so go to the brush size here. If you've got funny brushes in here, click this triangle up here and select basic brushes. And these, I generally choose a soft brush. I'll choose 21 here, and just rub around his feet here very carefully. It's quite rough I'm doing, you know, you might do it a bit easier. So once you rub that shadow around the feet, as long as you don't touch the person, you should be okay. So that should be fine there. Okay, so now I can turn the opacity back up again. I think everything's rubbed out there. That's anything else. So turn the opacity back up, and now you've got two people in the same picture. Okay, I could leave these layers here and drop other layers in on the background, but I'm not going to. The way I do it, to make it simple for myself to manage the layers, because you can get yourself in a bit of a strange position with too many layers. I'm just going to go layer, merge visible, like so. Okay, you then drag this layer away from the other layers, and I'm going to drag this on top of another picture, and I choose let's choose something which is quite close by. I'll choose the dog. So what I'm going to do is drag this picture over to that picture, like so. So you've dragged the picture which you've merged on top of another picture. That's the thing to remember. And then to make sure you've lined up properly, once again go to the opacity and turn the opacity down to about 50%. Okay, that's way out. So you're still with the move tool to drag it into position. I'm looking at the crosses on the window again, and that's fine. Okay, so now if I turn the opacity up again, you see there is no dog in the picture, so I need to rub out this area where the dog is, but I can't see where to rub out, so I need to turn the opacity down to see that. And then what I'm going to do, because it's very tight around the person led down's chest, I need to draw a marquee around here to rub out this area here, or the dog area there. So what I need to do is click on the background. Stay on layer 1. Zoom in. Turn the opacity up slightly here. Okay, there's a shadow there as well around his nose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a marquee tool around. Dog goes up to the soft bar and halfway up the door. So I'm going to draw a marquee tool around here. So select the polygonal lasso tool from toolbar up here. I'll start here where I know it's overlapping where the dog is, and I'm going to draw around here. Clicking on every part there, and if you're interacting with each other, you may be in front of each other or just overlapping each other. If you are, the other thing you need to bear in mind, if you're shaking hands or passing something to the other person, then you need to line up the pictures perfectly. And you may have to use this method going over tight areas like this. I forget where the dog was, but I'll go as far as this. Down here, up as far as there. I know the dog is not past there. And if you're near the end of the marquee tool, just double click and it will join up. Okay, I can now bring the opacity down again to 50%. And where that dog is, I'm in that layer. I'm going to rub out the part of the merged layer which we merged earlier on. So, and where I've drawn the marquee, I can now choose a big brush because it won't allow you to brush outside of the marquee you've drawn. So, just rub out the dog. And the shadow. I can rub out here, it doesn't work because I'm not outside of the marquee. Okay, so that's done. I can then get rid of the marquee. And that's fine. Bring up the opacity to 100%. Okay, the lines here are quite tight and there's quite, it looks like they've been joined together, but we can deal with that any minute now. What I'm going to do is merge the layers again. I've now got 3 layers. There is also an element here, look, so you could probably rub out there, fine. Oh, I don't want to rub out there. No. Am I in the right layer? Yeah, I am. Just rub out where the, as I say, you cannot rub the person out at all. So choose a smaller brush than that. Just rub out this line here. So you make it elements that don't ever rub the person out. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is merge the layers, merge visible, and grab the blur tool, which is here on the left hand side, and choose a suitable size. This is alright, and just blur those lines slightly, and that will get rid of any jagged edge you might have, and join the 2 images perfectly, like so. Okay, let's look at the picture again. Fit screen. So that's that done. That's 2. So that's now 1 picture. And the next thing I need to do is drag that away, and that 1 picture, and put it on top of another picture. So I'll choose a simple one this time. I'll choose that one there. So this is the last one I do, and you need to do this process for every one of the pictures until you're left with 1 picture. Drag it on top of there. Don't need this now. So once again, you've got 2 layers. Bring the opacity down, 50%, still out. Click into position. That should be fine. There is no shadows involved in this. The car is not really lined up there very well, but it's not too bad. So if I just rub if they aren't quite lined up, I just need to rub out where the person is. So I can do that quite simply by going, won't be too bad this. If you aren't lined up, then just rub over the person only, and you'll find that that should be adequate. The hat is outside, so that's great. Inside the car doesn't matter. And then just turn the opacity up just to check whether you've got the right picture. Not too bad. I'll just rub. The window was, what happened is the window was up on the other picture. So now I'm going to rub the window out. That's why the picture turned out like it was. It's not too bad actually. So we'll leave it like that. Get rid of that yellow part. And that. So now we've got 4 people in the picture. Put the car out there. I'll do that. So now we've got 4 people in the picture. So that is the way you're going to do the picture. And then you would merge that layer, like so. Layer, merge visible. It's quite rough, I'm doing it. And drag that away. And then drag it onto top of another picture. It's very simple. And gradually create your picture, which will end up like so. Very simple to do, but it's something you need to do. So I expect to see 4 or 5 of you in the same picture, and it's important that you change clothes for each image. Otherwise, it won't have the same effect. Okay, good luck, and I'll see your finished work.